Have you ever stared into a mirror and felt unsettled? Picture this: a dimly lit room, your own reflection staring back. At first, it feels ordinary, your gaze locked, unmoving. But then, something shifts. A flicker in your eyes, a distortion so quick your mind can't process it. Your pulse quickens because you know what you saw, even if you can't explain it. Maybe what you saw wasn't just your reflection. Maybe it was your shadow self staring back. Hi, what's up, and welcome to my channel. My name is Carrie, and this is Kulminated, where we dive into the mystical and psychological. Shall we begin? There's something haunting about the way a mirror watches you. Silent, unblinking, reflecting more than just your image. They are thresholds between the conscious and unconscious, the material and the ethereal. To stare into a mirror is to risk seeing beyond the veil, where reality begins to unravel and the illusion of self may distort into something unfamiliar. Across cultures, mirrors have been feared, revered, and even avoided. Superstitions warn against breaking them, staring into them at night, or keeping too many in a room. In folklore, they are said to be portals, capable of summoning spirits or trapping souls. The simple act of gazing into a mirror for too long has been known to unsettle even the most skeptical, as if something unseen stirs beneath the surface. Some believe mirrors act as gateways to other dimensions, allowing spirits or entities to slip through unnoticed. It is said that placing two mirrors facing each other creates an infinity effect, amplifying energy and opening a direct channel to the unknown. In many cultures, mirrors are covered after death to prevent wandering spirits from becoming trapped, or worse, using them as passageways back into the world of the living. The association with divination, hidden knowledge, and ghostly apparitions only deepens their mystery. The mind plays tricks in dim light. Reflections subtly shift, and instinctive wariness sets in. But beyond spiritual lore, there is a psychological element to this discomfort. Mirror gazing can lead to dissociation, where one's reflection begins to feel eerily separate from the self. The uncanny valley effect, the discomfort we feel when something appears almost human but not quite right, can distort facial features, making one's own reflection appear unfamiliar, unsettling, or even inhuman. The strange face illusion takes hold, warping identity and exposing the fragile boundary between perception and reality. Yet perhaps the deepest fear is not the mirror itself, but what it reveals. Prolonged self-reflection can summon the shadow self, the hidden aspects of our psyche that we suppress, our fears, traumas, and untamed desires. To meet its gaze is to acknowledge the parts of ourselves we often reject. But despite the fear, this confrontation is necessary. Jungian psychology teaches that integration of the shadow is essential for self-awareness and personal transformation. The mirror, then, is not the enemy. It is the gateway to understanding, a tool for reclaiming what has been buried. To fear it is to fear oneself. To face it is to awaken. Swiss psychiatrist Carl Jung introduced the concepts of the shadow self, referring to the hidden aspects of our psyche, the traits we reject, the desires we suppress, and the fears we bury. It is composed of everything we deny or disown in ourselves, from primal instincts to unprocessed emotions. Within each of us exists a duality, the person we strive to be and the parts of ourselves that contradict that ideal. This tension between the conscious self and the repressed shadow creates internal conflict, shaping our behaviors, reactions, and subconscious fears. The shadow man archetype is a manifestation of this hidden darkness. Often depicted as a tall, faceless, or silhouetted figure, he emerges in folklore, nightmares, and supernatural encounters as an entity that instills deep unease. but his presence is not merely external. He is the embodiment of suppressed fears, unresolved guilt, and buried trauma, lurking in the subconscious and revealing itself when least expected. He may appear in dreams or sleep paralysis, standing at the edge of consciousness, watching but never fully revealing his intent. This unsettling figure mirrors the way our psyche operates, keeping repressed emotions in the dark until they demand to be acknowledged. The Shadow Man does not attack outright. Instead, he looms, representing the weight of emotions we have yet to face. The more we ignore him, the stronger his presence becomes. Much like the Shadow Self, the Shadow Man is not inherently malevolent, but rather a messenger of the mind's unresolved wounds. His form is shaped by personal fears. He is a specter of past regrets, childhood traumas, or the guilt that festers beneath the surface. The eerie familiarity of his presence suggests that he is not an outsider, but a reflection of the self, a projection of what remains unhealed. Just as a mirror reflects what's seen, the shadow self reflects what's denied. When we don't acknowledge our own darkness, we project it onto others. This is the essence of psychological projection. Our unconscious mind externalizes what we can't bear to see within ourselves. The Shadow Man doesn't always appear as a literal entity. Sometimes he takes the form in the people we fear, despise, or misunderstand. When we come across qualities in others that provoke fear, anger, or maybe even disgust, it's usually a sign that these qualities exist, maybe unknowingly, within us. The manipulator who enrages us may reflect our own hidden tendencies to control. The liar we condemn may mirror our own fear of truth. The person we see as weak might embody the vulnerabilities we reject in ourselves. The Shadow Man isn't just a figure in the dark. He moves through our daily lives and interactions, forcing us to confront the parts of ourselves we project onto the world. Now, the mirroring effect of the shadow isn't limited to fleeting encounters. It plays out in our deepest relationships. The patterns that frustrate us in family members, partners, friends, co-workers, and even strangers often reveal aspects of our own unhealed psyche. A controlling parent might reflect our own struggles with authority and independence. A distant friend may echo our own fear of emotional intimacy. Conflicts in relationships, no matter how trivial they are, often stem from unconscious reflections of ourselves, forcing us to confront what we have buried for a long time. In romantic relationships, that shadow is even more pronounced. Attraction often pulls us towards those who reflect both our light and our darkness, mirroring unhealed wounds in ways that feel both magnetic and unsettling. The toxic cycles we find ourselves in, the partners we choose, and even the qualities that we idolize or even despise in a lover often reveal deeper truths about us. A partner's perceived rejection may stir up long-buried fears of abandonment. A lover's flaws may expose the very things we refuse to see in ourselves. Romantic relationships serve as some of the most powerful mirrors of the shadow, revealing both the wounds we must heal and the patterns we have to break. Environments also act as mirrors. If we constantly find ourselves in chaotic situations, surrounded by toxicity, or feeling misunderstood, it might be a reflection of our inner disturbances demanding to be seen and acknowledged instead of just external bad luck. The world around us often responds to the energy we project, subtly revealing the inner battles we haven't or refuse to face. The discomfort we feel in certain spaces or around certain people may not always be a sign to escape. It may be a sign to go within. It's important to know that the purpose of the shadow isn't to torment you during sleep paralysis or follow you around when you're depressed. It is to illuminate. Ignoring its presence only strengthens its grip, but confronting it offers transformation. If the Shadow Man is a projection of all that remains unhealed, then integration is the only way to dissolve his hold. But how does one face a darkness they have spent a lifetime avoiding? To answer this, we have to explore the process of shadow work, the path to embracing, understanding, and ultimately reclaiming the fragmented parts of the self. Shadow work is an elusive concept. How does one even do shadow work? Shadow work is, at its core, a process of radical self-awareness. It requires you to look inward, acknowledging the parts of yourself that you would rather keep buried, and confront the emotions, the patterns, and the fears that lurk beneath the surface. It's not easy, but it's necessary. It begins with self-inquiry. Have you ever been in a conversation where out of nowhere you felt a rush of adrenaline, a sinking in your stomach, or an anger rising in your throat? Pause. Take a breath. Ask yourself why. What triggered this reaction? What is being fought within me? These emotional surges are not random. They are signals from the unconscious, nudging you towards something unresolved, something that has been waiting to surface. Instead of suppressing these emotions, follow them to their source. Journaling is actually a really powerful tool for this. The next time you feel the urge to lash out at that coworker, write about it instead. What exactly did they say or do that provoked you? If you peel back the layers, you may find that their behavior mirrors something within you. A past wound, a repressed insecurity, or a trait you unconsciously reject in yourself. Perhaps their arrogance and audacity reminds you of your own fear of being seen. Perhaps their passivity reflects your own frustration with inaction. Projection is a mirror, and the shadow reveals itself through these reflections. As you become more aware of these emotional shifts, you take your power back. When you understand the true reason behind your reactions, they lose their grip on you. This awareness doesn't weaken you, it empowers you. The shadow is not meant to be banished, it is meant to be integrated, transformed, and wielded with intention. One of the most powerful embodiments of this integration is the wild woman archetype, the untamed, unapologetic force that refuses to be confined by societal expectations. She is the part of you that is raw, instinctual, and fiercely authentic. For too long, this energy has been demonized, labeled as too much, too emotional, or too unpredictable. But in truth, the wild woman is a source of wisdom, creation, and liberation. Shadow work is the key to unlocking her. By embracing your suppressed emotions instead of silencing them, you reclaim the power of your intuition, your passion, and your right to take up space. One of the most transformative ways to work with your shadow is through mirror work, the practice of speaking affirmations and engaging in positive self-talk while looking directly at your reflection. This is where shadow work and manifestation intersect. The mirror forces you to confront not just your physical self, but your inner dialogue, the thoughts and beliefs that shape your reality. At first, it might feel a little bit uncomfortable. You might struggle to say words of self-empowerment without skepticism or resistance. But over time, these affirmations begin to rewrite the subconscious scripts that have kept your shadow in chains. The next time you find yourself in front of a mirror, start by saying the following affirmations. I embrace all parts of myself, the light and the dark. I am powerful in my wholeness. I release shame and reclaim my truth. I am abundant, magnetic, and fully worthy of love and success. Through mirror work, you bridge the gap between who you think you are and who you truly are. You rewrite the stories of self-doubt and step into a reality where self-acceptance, healing, and abundance coexist. Shadow work is not about purging the darkness. It's about integrating it. The more you acknowledge your shadow, the less control it has over you. The more you embrace it, the more whole you become. And in that wholeness, you don't lose yourself. You find yourself. The shadow is not your enemy. It's your greatest teacher. The parts of yourself that you fear, suppress, or reject are not meant to be locked away. They are meant to be understood, embraced, and transformed. So I'll leave you with this. What would happen if, instead of running from your darkness, you faced it? Who would you become if you stepped into your wholeness, unafraid? The answer isn't out there. It's waiting for you in the mirror.